Hello and welcome back to the Broken Doll. And tonight I come to you with this wonderful doll that I've had for a little while. Many of you might have remembered that I got it, many of you might not. And because I've got a lot of new subscribers, I'm kind of rehashing bringing up some of my dolls that I've shown way long ago and bringing them out to be looked at again. And that makes me force myself to dust the area where they sit and to dust them down as well. But the thing is, we got to talk about this guy. This guy here is Charles Lindbergh. Now, there were many Charles Lindbergh dolls that were made, variations of him as a more matured man. This is more of a baby-faced, childlike. And I think it's to relate to the child who might want a Charles Lindbergh doll, especially a little boy out there who was very interested in aviation. And, you know, this doll here kind of had like a childlike look to it, you know, then more than the manly look to some of the other dolls that there were. Now, Uneeda made a Charles Lindbergh doll, made this one here, but it's not, mine's an unmarked one. It came with a tag that said Uneeda, Charles Lindbergh, and all this other stuff on it. Some are marked on the back, Uneeda. This one had a tag. Now, this one I got from off the shop Goodwill, and I got him really quite reasonable. Nobody bid him. Actually, he was put up about 2 or 3 times. I watched him on there, and nobody was going after him. So finally, I decided, hey, I'm going to get him. But who was Charles Lindbergh? Just very, very quick history here. He was born February 4th of 1902, died in August 26th of 1974 at 72 years of age, and this doll was made in 1927. He was an aviator and an author. On May 20th, 21st, 1927, he made the first non-stop solo across the Atlantic Ocean flight from New York to Paris, France, a distance of 3,600 miles. His airplane was called the Spirit of St. Louis, but he was not the first. In 1919, John Alcock and Arthur Whitten Brown, they flew from east of Canada to Ireland. But he was the first solo person. That's why I stress solo. Yeah, there was 2 of them who did that one there. And this gentleman here, Charles Lindbergh, he did a solo one across the Atlantic. So, you know, not anything about it. That's great, you know, all the same here. All this information here. This is a time when new inventions and everything were just coming left, right, and center, you know. And flight was taking away the snail pace of traveling. And if you could go a little bit faster by flying, it was coming. You know, going by ship was the snail. If you wanted to go someplace off your continent to another place far away, like Europe or something, you took a ship. And it took its time to get you there back in those days. But, you know, we have people now starting to fly. And we know where that lands us today, where we go all over the world now. And we don't even think twice about it. But it's people like this, and also these other ones here, John Alcock and Arthur Brown, who pushed for these inventions and to push up to see how far they can go. And that's where we are today. So all wonderful stuff all the same. He's a pretty pretty nice doll, but he's got issues when it comes to, if I take off his aviator cap here, he needs work. Let's just put it that way. If I can get it off, I had it off once before, but I gotta be so careful because this hat is it's there we go. He needs to be painted. You can see the paint that's come off of him here. He needs his eyes. Now he does come, which I was really glad with. He has his airplane here with one propeller left, half of a propeller there, but it says the Spirit of St. Louis. Oh, he's got a little bit of a missing of the back wing there. And he has his glasses, his aviator glasses, but the arms are not there. But hey, I'll take it, you know. But he's in great shape as far as everything else on him. You know, he's all put together there. But he will be taken off. He's on a chest plate type of thing here. So he's got a cloth body. And so he is on a chest plate. And he's going to have to be repainted. But he is up for restoration. Isn't that wonderful, though? A very wonderful doll. And it looks like there was something on the back here. It says Brit something. He picked up a little piece of paper. There might have been more about him. There looks like to be paper on this side, so that which would have said something more about him. So there's a little bit left, whatever it was, or it could be where he was stored and it just stuck to it. I don't know what happened exactly there, but hey, It is what it is what it is. Let's see if we can get this back on him for now. And there we go. It's on him. Very brittle though. Got to be so careful with him. He's old. He's almost, as of another couple more years, he'll be 100 years old. So, yeah, a lot to be said about it. Very happy I own him though. But believe me, I just saw one on eBay going for $175. I did not pay that for him. He was on, like I say, on Shop Goodwill, and he was up there several times. Finally, it was a buy it now, and it was under $10. And so I had to get him. And when they do a buy it now, I think it was like $9.99 or something, so about a penny under. But I thought, I got to get him. I think he's wonderful. I'm not really big on having a lot of dolls that represent a lot of famous people. I like some, but not a lot. I got this more from my husband at the time, because he was very interested in, when I showed this to him. Actually, I was going to fix him up and have him on our fireplace for my husband. That's what I was going to do with him. It's just like Ferdinand the Bull. He represents a lot in my childhood life, plus my husband. So I bought one so that it represents, otherwise I don't want any other book character. It doesn't see, I don't have any other, or too many. I have a few, but I don't want to be inundated with them. But when I saw him, I showed him to my husband. He just loved him, and he says, oh, paint him up, put him out on the fireplace and everything. So it's something that I'm still going to do. He's going to get up to that fireplace one of these days. But anyways, I thought I'd show him to you. He's a very wonderful doll. They can be picked up though. Like I say, when it comes to dolls that you want in your collection, you never know where they're going to land in the palms of your hand for so little a bit of money. Just a little bit of money, and these wonderful little, I call them POWs, they come in, P-O-W, POW, they just come in with a bang in your life, and you go, whoa, there you are, and such a good price, I'm picking you up right now, and this was one of them. And I'm so glad I got him still. Though I never got him fixed up at the time for my husband, I am going to still fix him up. And he's quite a delight to have and to own. And a little piece of history there. And though I did read some stuff about this gentleman here, we won't go into it though. But anyhow, he was quite the gentleman. And yeah, so anyways, I'm glad to have it though all the same, because it's a piece of history, and of where in the doll history it is, and just in history itself. I always tell people, never, people say, I don't know why you like dolls, or that doll looks, spooky, or it looks like this, or it looks like that, or whatever. But when I settle their spirit down with it, when I say, but the history that goes behind that doll, from what it was made from, to what it represents in history. It could be somebody famous, like this gentleman here was, Charles Lindbergh, to many other aspects about history. These dolls can touch on, and that's what makes our dolls so interesting. Even the dolls today that are coming out are representing a piece of history that talks about our society in the moment and where we're at. And it comes through many different ways. Yes, through fashions of clothing, right down to our toys. And it can come through our fashions of our cars. I mean, I'll go to these, our street will close in our downtown area, and have all these old cars down there, and you can just see how far we've come from these old cars from the turn of the 1900s, coming all the way through to the great big fins of the 1950s, the great big cat fins, or whatever you call those fins on the back of the car, and then they move on to other cars, and just how the history told about the time and what was going on. Wonderful stuff to see. It goes into everything, and even into our dolls. They will speak of a time in history of what was going on, and all of a sudden they start to listen. They quiet down. Now they might still see that doll as something they still don't want on their shelf, but I do. And that's the wonderful part about these dolls. I hope you enjoyed this and seeing him, even though he can't see you because he's got no eyes, but that will be remedied down the road, But like I say, I've got a lot of dolls that need fixing. I buy them for that purpose. And sometimes I buy them not for that purpose. I didn't buy them for that purpose. I really bought them because my husband liked them. Because it was about aviation. My husband loves stuff like that. So he liked trains and planes, trains, and automobiles. There you go. And so that's why I got him. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Give me a comment if you want, a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. And there'll be more of these wonderful dolls coming up as I do more dusting in my doll room. Dusting my doll room brings out these dolls. All right, thanks again. Bye-bye.